Our players joining us are number 2, Basa, and number 10, Nix. We'll go ahead and open it with some comments from Coach.
Yeah, first just want to say thank you to Fiesta Bowl, Verbo. This has been an unbelievable experience. You talk about the things that are benefits of the bowl game. For us, it's connection. It's the time that we get to spend with each other one last time. This guy on the stage with me, some of these other guys, their last opportunity to get to spend some time with us. And for us to get to have a great opportunity to spend time together and then go out there on the field and finish it the way we wanted to. We said, this season and really this game was about unfinished business. And we said we're writing the last chapter to our book, and we had the pen. And I thought our guys wrote a phenomenal chapter. Started off a little bit hairy, but they finished it off the way Oregon's supposed to play. So we're really proud of these guys and thankful again to the Fiesta Bowl and the job they did.
We'll open it up for questions again. Let's get a mic to you. If you could announce your name and your outlet, and we'll start here on the left. First row, please.
24/7 Sports Dan. Just 12 wins only happened 5 other times in this program's history. What does this win mean? What's 12 wins mean to this team, this program?
Yeah, I just think it speaks to the direction, the base that these guys have created for where we're headed and what we're about to do. That they believed in what we wanted to accomplish, and this is all about our players. Right, our players, had buy-in. They knew what the goal was and what to accomplish, and we're going to build off of that in the future. And they really set the stage for that.
Second row on the left.
Hey, Bo. David Brandt from the Associated Press. You end your career as one of the most experienced, productive college quarterbacks ever. Do you feel 35 years old in quarterback years, or what's it feel like now that this kind of odyssey is finally done?
Well, I feel like I have played a lot of football, but, every time I went out there, it slowed down more and more. And, by the end of it, I just had a really, comfortable feel. And, I think this year with what we were doing offensively, schematically, I think, we just, we're very efficient. And part of that is because of, what we did offensively and then the players we have, on our side of the ball. And, it's been a great career. It's been a lot of ups and downs, and it's been there's been some great adversity too that I've been able to learn from, and I wouldn't be here without every year, every step has been another journey, and I wouldn't have traded anything.
What I'll do say just to piggyback off that for Bo is hopefully everybody up here on the out here in the crowd realizes that this guy has the single season record for passing touchdowns, passing yards, and most touchdowns in an Oregon Bowl game. Right here at quarterback, not to mention set the NCAA passing record for completion percentage. So he's done a lot for this program. He's played in a lot of elite ball, and we're really proud of him.
Go back to the front row here on the left.
Back to Bo. Just your thoughts on those accomplishments, and will you finally say that you played good football this season?
Yeah, I played good football this year because of the opportunity and the situation that I was in. It wasn't difficult to go out there and play with the guys that I was around, and Coach Lanning can say what he wants, but it's a lot because of him that we were in the situation we were in. He coaches us extremely hard, and he gets the best out of us, and that's what you want out of a head coach. And his humility is going to give it to the players, but we wouldn't be here without him and his leadership. And I've learned so much from him over my time, over 2 years, and like I said, I wouldn't be here without him and the coaches that he's put around us as players. And we as a team, I felt like we set the bar really high. We had a standard, and we just wanted to go out there and match it every Saturday.
Second row, far left.
Yeah, Dan, this is Jack Magruder from Forbes. Obviously, your last game in the Pac-12 conference. Just wonder what your thoughts are leaving the league, entering a new league, and also the legacy that maybe Oregon leaves in this one.
Well, I think, Oregon's cemented itself as, a premier program in college football. And I'll say, more than anything, certainly grateful for some of the great games that exist in the Pac, but probably just as excited about what's happening in the future for us, where we're headed, the direction we're headed, the clarity, of what that brings. And that's really credit to our administration, Rob Mullins, and the people around us that have put us in that position.
Back here on the risers.
Trevor Denton, KVAL TV. This one's for Bo. Looked like you had a little conversation with Will and Dan before going out for that curtain call. You guys were smiling. What was kind of said during that conversation, and what emotions were you feeling when you were walking off that field for that final time getting that curtain call?
Well, we were just going through the little memories we had. It was both coaches were just super excited, and I was grateful to be in that position with them. They've done so much for me in my development. They've allowed me to have one of the best years of my life, and I attribute it to those guys. And just to be able to have that situation, you see it a lot, and you always wonder, like, you think maybe one day that could be me, and then today it just it happened, and I feel nothing but joy. I feel nothing but happiness and gratitude for the entire university. I think I could go on a list on and on about what the university has meant to me and each person that's done so much for me.
The front row left.
Jenna Ortiz, Arizona Republic. For Jeffrey, what conversations did the defense have after that first drive and being able to shut them out for the rest of the game?
Yeah, little things like just keeping our poise. That's something that we preach, every day at practice and then all the time in the facility. And I think Coach Lanning and, Coach Lupoy do a great job of, instilling that into our minds. Just keeping our poise, going to the sideline, not keeping our highs too high and our lows too low, And I think that's something that, a lot of these guys in the offseason were focusing on, was that mindset of, next play mentality. And, we got to flush the next play, and we got to, look at that next play and reflect on it and, grow from it. So I think that first drive, just reflecting on that first drive, like you said, was, going to the sideline, keeping our poise, and then, that we were going to execute at a high level from then on.
And Jeff won't give himself enough credit, but just like Bo, makes this offense run, Jeff makes this defense tick. We give him an unbelievable amount of defense that he has to process through his mind, getting us in the right call, and obviously that showed up today, and that's why he was able to play elite.
And I get tired of practicing against Jeff because he always calls out our plays because he studies so much. He knows exactly where to tell the guys where the ball is going, and I think that's just a tribute to him because he's such a great leader. He took ownership of it, and that's why he had such great success on the field.
We'll stay in the front row left.
Stanley, Arizona Republic. This question is for Coach Dan and Coach Bo, or not Coach Bo, Player Bo.
Coach Bo,
Sorry about that.
future offensive coordinator at Oregon, maybe.
So this is the last year before the college football playoff is coming to here at Glendale for the permanent fixture. What's it like playing Fiesta Bowl before that change comes?
I'll let Bo go first.
Well, for it being my last game and for the season that we had, I grew up watching the Fiesta Bowl. I grew up watching bowl games on New Year's Day and, just dreaming and, just going outside after and just, playing like I was in that position. And, even though maybe you could say it didn't go how we wanted to this year, but I think it ended exactly how, we could have controlled it. I think we did everything we could. And with the opportunity that presented itself, we were in the Fiesta Bowl, and we were able to come out here and play. It wasn't until pregame I was out there warming up, and I've thought back to when back in 2010 the national championship was here, and I was able to come to it, and full circle moment. I'm back in my 5th year in the last game ever back in the stadium, and it's just little things like that that God orchestrates, and he does things like that, and he's just up there kind of smiling.
Yeah, certainly a unique experience to get to be a part of a New Year's Six. I think, every one of our players realize how special moments like that, how special this game is. I remember being in college watching the Fiesta Bowl with Oklahoma, Boise State, getting to experience some of these games and getting to be a part of it's really, really special, for these guys up on this stage, but also for our team.
Go third row left.
Levi Berthold, KWVA Sports. A question for Coach and for Bo. Offensively, you guys seem to flip a switch in that third drive. What do you think attributed to kind of the sluggish start as far as points go? And how did the experience and leadership you guys have on the sideline, how do you flip that switch to score all those touchdowns in a row?
Yeah, I think we just had to settle in. They had some success getting hands up on some batted balls that probably would have been successful plays early. But once we settled in and, made sure that we weren't beating ourselves. We talk about, bowl games come down to the team that tackles the best, the team that doesn't penalize themselves. I think we walked out of the day with, 2 penalties. That's a big credit to our guys operating really well. But as long as we operate within sequence, it's hard to stop the Ducks.
Yeah, I think we were a batted ball and a poor, inaccurate throw from having success on the first 2 drives. But just like we do all year, we just got to settle in and continue to go. We knew that the defense was going to continue to get us the ball back, so we just had to go down there and score the first time. And once we did that, once Bucky had that long run, that really started things.
Third row center.
Sorry. Bo, so much has been made about your decision to play in this game when a lot of guys in your position wouldn't have or around the country didn't. What message do you think it sends, or what message do you have for players who are going to make that decision in the future about participating at the end of the year, even if there isn't the carrot of it's for a national championship, or there's not necessarily the quote-unquote stakes that would bring a player out What did you get from this, do you think, and what do you think other players could if they looked at it differently?
Well, for me, my decision was simple. I wanted to go out and compete one more time. I wanted to go out and play another game. I don't think you're promised many opportunities to play the game of football. And with the year that we had, it would have been a shame if I, didn't go out there and finish with the guys who made it all possible. And so all I can go off is just my feelings and my decision. I didn't think, I never had a question if I was playing with it or playing in it. I just kind of thought, it was going to be assumed that I was going to play in it, to be honest with you. But there wasn't much of a decision, and for some guys that's different. It's all, situationally based. But I just couldn't wait to get back on the field with these guys after what happened on December 1st, and I couldn't wait to go back out there and compete one more time. And if I had the opportunity, I was going to go use it.
First row center.
Dan, before this game, you were very praiseworthy of Liberty. Now that you've played them and won pretty convincingly, does that change your projections and your analysis of whether they were a team worthy of playing in this game at all?
Not at all. I mean, you talk about they were an undefeated team, that they had an elite season. Coach Chadwell's won everywhere he's been. And, we had the better game today. We played well today. And they're a good team. You can't discredit a team going, unscathed throughout the season, undefeated. It speaks to the quality of team they are and the quality of coaches they have. They had an elite season, and hopefully this doesn't overshadow the season that they had, But I know how I wanted to come out on the end of this thing, and fortunate enough for us, our players went out and performed.
Second row left.
Ben Cates, the News in Advance in Virginia. Bo, we talked about your brother this week. Tell me what kind of day he had today, in your opinion, and how your feelings on, what he did out there, because he seemed to have a pretty special day.
Well, Tez had a Tez day. If you watch him every day, that dude goes out there, he gets open, he catches the ball, and he continues to do it over and over and over. I can't explain how, awesome it was to get to play with him, for a whole season, and to see him do what he did, and to see him cap it off with the day that he had today. It was like I told him going in, I was like, I'm going to throw you the ball as much as you're open. So you just get open, and, we'll take care of it. And sure enough, that's what he does. And, it's so fun watching him, because I understand what he's been through to get to this moment. I understand what he's been through to get to this point in his career. That dude's had to overcome a lot of adversity, a lot that I probably don't even understand. But I just think he's such a great human being. He's such an awesome person. He's one of the kindest people that you can meet. He's got a great heart, and I think it just overflows on the football field. The energy and the effort you get is how he lives his life. And he just competes even when he doesn't have to. He goes out there and competes, and I think he just reaps the rewards of that.
Talk about one of the easiest recruiting deals ever is when Bo walks into my office and says, hey, I think we got this guy that can maybe play for us. And I was like, oh, okay, what do you think? We're going to have to recruit our tail off. What's it going to take? He goes, no. Oregon was his dream school. And today, that guy that walked away with Oregon being his dream school set the single-season record for receptions for an Oregon receiver. So big accomplishment for Tez, and nice recruiting job by Bo.
First row center.
Dan, when you take a look at the evolution through your first 2 years, last year 10-3, go to the Holiday Bowl, this year 12-2, win the Fiesta Bowl, what do you believe are the next steps heading into year 3 for you with Oregon?
Well, the great thing about football is every team has a, individual identity in itself. And, what these guys built, they created, a legacy and created a tradition about, what we expect and our standard of play. But the reality is it has nothing to do with next season. So it's going to be about this next group going back to the fundamentals and starting from scratch, starting from zero and figuring out exactly what we have. But they certainly put the building blocks down for what it means to be an Oregon football player and an Oregon football team.
We'll stay in the front row here, left.
Dan and Jeff, lowest rushing total for Liberty all season long. What made you guys so successful in stopping the run?
I'll let Jeff go first.
Yeah, I think that just went down to, the preparation. Knowing that they were the #1 rushing offense in the country, I think a lot of the guys looked up to the challenge and to stopping that run. That's something that we didn't do, in the previous game. Before this game, we didn't do that very well. So, accepting that challenge, I know a lot of the defensive linemen were fired up. Guys like, Taki and Dorless were fired up to, just go up against that offensive line. And then, obviously, Coach Lanning and Coach Lupoy calling the calls that they wanted to call, a simple call sheet, that we were ready to, just strike and, fit the gaps.
And see, I feel a little bit different because they had 168 rushing yards. So it still bothers me, when we talk about our standard. But I will say this, that our players embraced what it's going to take to win this game, understood their strength, which is it's a big strength. They're better at running the ball than anybody else in the nation for a good reason. So I'm appreciative that our players stepped up to the challenge.
Go to the third row on the left.
Bo, can you walk us through that second touchdown pass? Looked like a bit of a broken play. You were able to put 6 on the board. What went down there?
Was that one Terrence? Yeah. So we've been practicing that play a lot, and we were expecting it to go to Pat Herbert, to be honest, in the corner. And when we came off the fake, somebody kind of ran with him, and there was the dude right there, so I just tried to avoid. I thought, somebody was going to be on the other side and probably hit me pretty good because I kind of lost my balance. But Ferg just stayed alive. He kind of found his way over the middle, and, when I looked up, I just saw his number and threw it to him, and, it's just exactly how we practiced it.
Not at all like we practiced it, but it worked. That's what Bo said to me as soon as he came to the sideline. He said, just like we practiced. I said, you're right.
This will be our last question here on the left.
Bo, question for you. A lot has been made of the single-season completion percentage record, and a lot of people online throughout the game were kind of doing the math as you updated. You got more completions, more completions. Was that in your mind coming into the game? And then while you're on the sideline, was there any awareness of where you are numerically? And how did you kind of deal with the pressure of knowing you were close to a record-breaking game?
Well, it was hard not to think about it because you're so close to something that you work so hard for, and that the season has led up to. But I would just give credit to the coaches. I think they were, aware the entire time, and they just did a good job of calling the game. And when they call the game like we do, we go out and execute, and it just kind of happens. And you gotta. I think the completion percentage is important because it speaks to a lot of people. It doesn't just speak to one person, because everybody that the ball is thrown to, they got to catch it and they got to do something with it, and then you got to protect it to throw it. And everybody was included, and so I think it's just a great team accomplishment. I think it was just an awesome way for this year to conclude, and it's an honor to even be recognized as that because of the quarterbacks that have had those records that have had such remarkable years and seasons. So I'm just extremely fortunate, extremely blessed, and I wouldn't have traded it for anything.
This concludes our press conference. Congratulations to Oregon, the Verbo Fiesta Bowl champions, and thank you, media, for your participation, and Happy New Year to all.
Happy New Year. Go Ducks.